Friends and family, how you doing? Mac here with another video. Now in this video right here, I'm going to show you something totally different, right? Something you rarely see, and that's up underneath the hood of your favorite gear that you love to use to create music, right? Now right here, I have this optical cable here, this Toslink optical cable. I am connecting to this digital D to A converter. This is a Crane Song D to A. Now I'm connecting this, right? That's the input right there because it's a D to A converter. The output, right, which you will see, but I'm kind of struggling right here, trying to get it into the hole. I mean, it's a real tight space in a tight hole. Well, I think I finally got it right there. But now I'm going to connect that cable, you know, to this to the input or the output of the ADAC section of the UAD Apollo. Right now, I initially put it in output 2, but I decided let's just put it in output 1. But of course, you know, in that angle, it's hard to see anyway. But I placed it in output 1 right here. Now, as you can see, it's taking a while for me to get it together here. But I put it in output 2 right there. But I disconnected it and put it in output 1 right there. You can see what I put it in output 1 right here. Yeah, right there, output 1. Now, after that, now remember that idea in my last video about using the UAD Apollo, right? Using the UAD Apollo the same way you use a hardware, a rack mount gear, right? Just a pass-through. But that's what I'm doing right now. I'm connecting the output, the monitor output of the UAD Apollo into my interface, right? There's the monitor output right there. Now I'm connecting 2 TRS cables, right? Mogami cables into the input, right? That is connected to my HDX rig. So basically this setup allows the Apollo to just be a pass-through audio device, right? Where the plugins are used similarly the same way as hardware gear. Basically using the Apollo as a hardware patch unit. You know what I'm saying? A hardware pass-through unit. And I came up with this idea and I was just thinking, I just don't like putting plugins inside of a DAW, right? How in the world can I make it where the analog plugins, right, emulated plugins in the Apollo can be used the same way as analog, and where I can really maximize the potential of the Unison technology? And that's why I came up with this, right? Where I'm not using this as an interface, right? I'm not using the Apollo as an interface. The only thing that is connected, right, is the Apollo to my computer where I can visually, right, use the console to select plugins. And by that, I am converting those plugins to analog. Do you see what I'm saying? And not only that, I have the output of the Apollo being digitally reconverted through the Crane Song and also back analog into my HDX rig. Now, I'm going to giving some more audio examples of this, of the output, and see if this was a great idea and how beneficial it could be or may not have been. So stay tuned, and I will show you and give you a listen of the outcome of this experiment. Peace. Friends and family, I want you to check this out, right? Now, even though, right, I own some gear here, I don't have an SSL G Plus compressor. So what I have here is the plug-in version, the UAD plug-in version, right? Now, some may say, the plug-in just does not sound the same as the original hardware unit. I get that, I understand that. But there's a problem. I don't have the hardware unit. But I like the character and the reaction that this compressor sounds. I like it. So what I did, of course, I explained to you in the last video, this is not inside of a DAW. Basically, this visual is no different than this right here. You see what I'm saying? So imagine this being the real hardware, right? Just like this piece here, just like this black box. So what's going on is I have audio going into the Apollo, right? Taking advantage of the unison technology. So I have audio going into there, into the input of the Apollo. Now that audio is also going in through the unison console, right? Where it is being processed using this plug-in here, the SSL G-Bus compressor, right? Now the output of that is going out of the Apollo into the links, right? Which is connected to an HDX system, right? Clean, transparent. So basically whatever comes out of here is going to sound exactly how it's supposed to come out without any additional color and artifacts. And in real time too, because it's HDX. Remember that. Pro Tools HDX, Avid. Everything is in real time. And not only that, this is also clocked too, to ensure space and width in the sound, because everything has to be correct. You know what I'm saying? So I say again, I am not using the computer as a DAW. The computer is simply used as a visual interpretation, as if the hardware gear was actually set up in my rack. So basically, you can say this is a virtual representation of the SSL G-Bus compressor, but the output is all analog. The output is analog. Into this and out is analog. And not only that, it's clocked. So that's why I connected the output, the Toslink output, into the digital D to A Solaris. So by doing that, I have somewhat another picture of how the sound could actually be printed. So I have output, hardware output of the Apollo, right? Of the Apollo going back in into the HDX, right? And I also have the Apollo digital output connected into the Solaris, where the analog out is also connected via the patch bay right here. Here's the patch bay right here. So I have two sources, right, that I can monitor. I can monitor and print the output of the Apollo directly, or I can monitor the reconversion, right, where I convert the Apollo's output into the Solaris, right? And then that goes back into the DAW as well through the patch bay. So I hope that clarifies this strategy right here, because music is all about experimentation when it comes to sound. You find what's worked best for you, then you keep using it, right? Because I'm not finna buy a SSL G-Bus compressor. I got enough stuff as it is. So I also have plugins. Now, if I spent money on these plugins, it's imperative that I use them as well, because you don't want to just be buying stuff for no reason at all. Make use of it. And it may, perhaps you can get a return on your investment and get your money back. And just in case you don't, well, it is what it is. So this is Mac. We'll catch you the next video. And I'm going to do some live beat making. I'm trying to set everything up where I can do live beat making and discuss a couple of things about life and finance that I think you would really enjoy. So just stay tuned. And as I said before, I'm doing all this and still have a job. So I'm trying to figure out all the other YouTubers out there who don't have a job. You should be kicking out 10 videos a day. I'm going to give a special shout out as well to a guy named Anton Daniels, right? Anton Daniels, right? Me and him, we have some of the same relatives, right? Now, lives in Detroit. He's got family down there in St. Petersburg area. But all our family, right, originate from my grandma's side in a small community, right, in southern Georgia known as Early County. You got Blakely and then you got Damascus, Georgia. That's where my grandmother's ancestry is from. And so is his. So I support him. He got wonderful content. He's like me, a common sense guy, no nonsense, right? And speak logically, because we're living in society today. You would think in 2026 that people would get smarter and more wiser. But unfortunately, the opposite has happened. It's like common sense has been flushed down the drain. So individuals like him is all about common sense and logical reasoning. That's what I like about him. So if you haven't checked out his channel, I recommend you do so. Now, this is it for me. I'll catch you the next video. I'm gonna try to set this up so I can do some live beat making and really show you some secrets. Because a lot of these YouTubers, some of them don't want to show you some of these secrets. But I'm going to show you the secrets that some of these YouTube beat makers don't want you to know. I'll be back. Just stay tuned. Audiolithic Mac. Peace.